I need lip injections, but I can't afford them. Can you imagine the day that we show up on camera without makeup on?
Come here, time to film.
Now I look like a clown. Do you have hairy knuckles? Can I see your knuckles?
I mean, probably. Good thing from far away
We're a mess,
you can't see
but-
my nails. I didn't even put any like lotion or anything on.
I didn't either. Who cares?
Just like fuck it.
We're just getting realer and realer as time goes on.
Well, we actually discovered that we think we look better when we don't have tanner on.
If this looks terrible, then Saint-Tropez and Bali Body sponsor us.
I need that bird to stop tweeting. It's filming time.
Yay, the ice bucket!
I'm such a piece of shit that I had to go dump out the water from the last time. Like literally, it's just been a lot. Guys, we're struggling.
We're like a wild ride.
We're not sleeping.
Dixie? Maybe she's afraid of the spirit that they heard in the wall. It's fine. They're fine.
Maybe it's the spirits and they are welcome here.
Or it might be like a mouse.
Update. It was, in fact, a mouse. Andrea has named the mouse Matilda to mentally cope with unwanted critters in her house. She has done absolutely nothing to solve this problem besides asking Matilda to relocate to a different home.
I don't have enough energy to deal with an animal in my walls, so we're just gonna say that.
I love that you have enough energy for spirits, but not an animal.
Well, yeah, because I love them and they're welcome here. They're welcome here.
I feel like I have 8 chins whenever I look down. And we're gonna pop the champs.
Hold on. Welcome to We Weren't Crazy.
Welcome to We Weren't Crazy.
We feel crazy.
Let me do yours first, because I'm a gentleman.
Don't spill it.
I won't.
Watch it.
I am watching it.
Cheers.
We back. I did so good on your eyeliner.
I mean, yours looks good too. We went on a hike today.
At least we're not super hormonal this time.
We're hungover. We're normally hungover.
I know. We're just sleep deprived. I think we started talking about that. I didn't sleep for 48 hours.
Whoa, these bubbles?
Did you eat a weed gummy?
No. Look at the bubbles. They look like there's hairs in it, but it's like, I don't know. It kind of looks like worms, and that freaked me out, but it's not.
Mine isn't doing that. Mine's like beautiful bubbles.
Why? Why do I have the creepy ones? Anyway, Felicia didn't sleep for 48 hours. Let's start there.
As we have been on this journey.
What a journey it has been. What a journey.
I don't think that either of us realized as we were unpacked. I feel like a midget. I feel like I have midget arms.
I don't know what to tell you. Is that new?
Amazon. It's very
Ooh,
lightweight.
comfy. And we'll put it in our Amazon storefront that nobody has shopped. Can somebody go buy something from my Amazon
We
storefront?
only got like another 2 months.
Yeah,
before it
we need
gets
to
shut
sell
off.
3 things in 3 months. So please help us.
Talking about the things that we were talking. What?
I'm wondering if whenever I rinsed it out or when I washed it, if I didn't rinse, maybe if there's still soap in there. I assume I can't die from, it's Dawn dish soaps when they wash the like little baby creatures
kids
that are
were
covered
eating
in
those
oil.
pods. So I think you're fine.
You reference that so often.
I know, because it's like kids will fucking do anything. They're stupid.
Well, yeah, especially.
And
kids
thank
these
God we
days.
didn't grow up in that era. I probably would have eaten a dishwasher pod. And
If somebody told you
and
it
put the
tasted
jewels
good.
on my teeth, remember? Anyways.
Did you ever have dermal?
No, I wanted one so bad.
I could totally
So
have seen emo Felicia.
It was the style. I wanted to get one here. And then there was a moment where I wanted to get them here.
Oh my God, thank God
The
you didn't do that
dimples.
to your face.
Thank God. And then I wanted to get a beauty mark here.
Oh my God, thank God.
I know. Thank God that I was poor.
It's also so weird. The things that we did back then, like, well, even like belly button rings.
I feel like it can be cute.
Well, I'm saying for us, but the Gen Zs aren't going to go.
Well, the Gen Zs are also like doing cold plunges and, right? Gen Zs after us?
Yeah.
Gen Zs are doing cold plunges and they're living a healthy lifestyle.
They're healthier than us probably in certain aspects.
They don't have as many tattoos as our generation
They literally
has.
like, they don't have
They're
like.
like naturally pretty.
No, they're not. They're getting Botox when they're like
Okay,
23.
they're a different type of.
They're not naturally pretty. They're literally
we were putting stripes in our hair. We were just extreme.
But we lived real lives and had real trends and real things. And now they're just like, I mean, really.
They all look like Stepford Wives.
Well, and they don't even like connect in real life. They're only connecting on fucking Snapchat and stuff.
That's true.
Like they don't. Did you know they don't even text?
But I
they
feel
only Snapchat.
I only know this because some of the dudes that I've talked to have been like 25, and they're like all involved in Run Club, and I'm like, that sounds awful.
Yeah, but we were also more active when we were in our 20s too.
Were we active on Broadway?
No, we were active.
Active at loser 20s? I moved here when I
Yeah,
was
we were walking
23.
10,000 steps a day.
That's true. Anyways, we haven't slept for 48
Felicia didn't sleep for 48 hours, then she slept for 24 hours, and I was lost and alone in the world.
I know.
I didn't know what to do with myself.
I know. That's what I feel like when you don't answer me back when you've fallen asleep at night. We just aired what?
Oh my God. I'm already so sore. Okay, so we
Fucking A, man.
we started talking about the John Doe story 2 weeks ago. We hadn't planned to talk about that like we always do, just planned to have a nice little lighthearted yapping session.
This has been so much therapy for us, things that
Yeah.
we've never talked about to each other. And we've disassociated each time, not in a bad way, but in a way where it almost allows ourselves to talk about things that we probably wouldn't talk about otherwise.
Yeah. It's just like buried so deep.
We're yin and yang, as we both know. So when one of us is feeling not discouraged, but like, and I don't want to say, what are we doing this for? But there have been moments where I have felt like I'm putting everything out there and for what? But in the moment, sometimes it feels really heavy to the point where I've always struggled with a sleeping pattern, but I was awake literally for 48 hours, and that's never ever happened to me ever in my whole life. The first 24 hours, I went to work the next day. People at work were like, "Are you anxious about something?" And I was like,
Right.
"No, I just couldn't sleep because I wasn't thinking about
Right.
the whole John Doe episode." I think how it's affected me is it was a process. So step one was me realizing, holy shit, like none of that was okay.
Right.
And I genuinely was brainwashed. Step two was reliving everything that I lived. Step three was seeing everything that you went through. So it just was like chaos in my brain.
Yeah.
The other night when we watched episode 10 and we pulled up the emails and seeing how I was talking, I was like, and I think that's probably why I stayed up the next 24 hours. It's really weird to read your own words and not recognize who that person is.
It like literally sounded like a cult member.
Yes.
Well, and if you've ever been to therapy, if you have a good therapist or if you're in an intensive like therapy program, every time you leave therapy, you just feel exhausted because you've just like broken yourself open. It's like therapy times a million.
Ruh-roh.
You got turned around, baby.
I told my mom everything that had happened.
Before episode 10 aired, which has a lot of sexual coercion and coercive control tactics and all of the words that we've learned since we've been researching all of this.
I finally feel like I'm in a place now where I can be honest with my mom. And I finally feel like she's in a place too where she can kind of meet me there. We started talking about forgiveness. I don't even remember how it came up. Maybe it had to do with the Charlie Kirk thing where she forgave the dude who killed her husband. And I was like, that doesn't make sense to me, first of all. I was like, I can't forgive John Doe. And she could tell I wanted to tell her. She was like, you can tell me when you're ready. Like, you don't have to tell me right now, but you can tell me when you're ready. And I just blurted it out.
Over the past year, I feel like that's been the most growth period. I
think we both have evolved a lot.
Yeah.
I think she's known that I've always had some sort of rebellious side, and it's always kind of been like unspoken in a way.
Felicia was adopted, in case you haven't watched previous episodes. What, you were 9 when you met Courtney?
Yeah, I was 9 when I met Courtney. So I was in foster care at the time. I knew my mom had lost all the rights to me, and my foster family was trying to adopt me, and they were toxic. Like, my foster mom would beat my foster dad. It just was an awful. I used to get beat up by my foster siblings, and it just was a really awful environment. And I knew, I was like, I can't stay here. I will not let them adopt me.
And you'd been in several foster homes at that point?
I was back and forth with the same
foster
foster
got
family.
it. So in and out with the same family.
This is where it's a miracle. Jim and Lynn and Courtney they are from California. Jim's job brought him up to Medford, Oregon for 2 years. He had a 2-year contract. And that's when Courtney started going to school with me. And her and I were in the same grade. She had said something about how she was adopted. And at that point, I knew that I wasn't going to get to go live with my biological mom anymore. She had lost all of her rights. And I remember my foster mom telling me, and this is what's so fucked up. I remember her telling me I wouldn't have adopted Jennifer, Jessica, and Charles if I had known that you would have gone up for adoption, because at that point she wasn't able to adopt any more kids. And I remember thinking, that's so fucked up to say. Like, why would you say that?
Ew.
Yeah. And I remember where we were standing at the time too.
The fact that that stuck with you, it just shows that your little tiny spirit was like,
Red flag,
danger.
red flag. The dynamics of the foster home were, I came in, and we'd have to go through the paperwork, but I think I came in at like 7 or 8. I came in, they had multiple foster kids, but 3 of them they had adopted. They were all siblings from Native American families. They had been locked in closets, starved, like in the depths of hell when Rita and Norman adopted them.
And to end up in a abusive home on top of
they're
that.
all in jail. I looked them up. Like, they're all in jail. My foster mom, her name was Rita. She was a nurse and she would work all the time. And so Norman was the one who took care of us. And Norman, I think that's why I have a love for old people, because they were like in their 60s at the time. He was so sweet and just so kind. He had tumors all over, like covered in tumors. And I remember thinking anytime we'd go out, people would stare at him. And I kept thinking, like, just be nice to him. Like, he's a nice man. And why are you staring at him and making fun of him?
I feel bad for Norman.
I know. He's dead now. I know.
She probably killed him. Can I have some more champagne?
Of course. What is that, Maya? So I was with them off and on for a few years, and Becky, their biological daughter.
So they only had one biological?
She had, I think, 3, but Becky was the one that lived with them. And they lived in a huge home. Like, it literally looked like a hotel. That's how you know that they were getting money from the government for being foster parents.
Yeah.
But I remember Becky used to stand on my toes and pull my ears. And Courtney remembered that before I even remembered it.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, they were awful. Anyway, so I knew I had to get out of there. I met Courtney 2nd grade, knew she was adopted. We were at a birthday party, and I went up to Lynn, Courtney's mom, and I said, I'm going up for adoption. Will you adopt me? And keep in mind, Lynn didn't know me from Adam at that point. She just knew I was Courtney's friend.
So little 9-year-old Felicia just skates up.
Yep, roller skating rink.
Yep.
Came
like,
up to
hi,
her.
Can you adopt me?
And Lynn was like, of course, sweetie. Yeah. And she didn't know I was serious.
Yeah.
And apparently, and I don't remember any of this, but apparently I skated back up to her, sat next to her, and I said, I was serious. If I go up for, this is going to make me cry. I wasn't going to cry today. If I go up for adoption, will you adopt me? And that's when she knew, like,
A lighthearted yap.
She knew, like, this girl's serious. And from what I understand, she called Jim, her husband, and she said, I just told one of Courtney's friends that we would adopt her. And he said, do you love her? And she was like, yeah. They didn't even know me.
Damn it.
And they adopted me. And so it was kind of a wild ride. So I was still in foster care at the time. They had to become foster parents before they could actually adopt me. So they went through the process to try to foster me. Jim's job transferred him back to California. Well, legally, you can't take a child out of the state before
The
they're
adoption is final.
adopted. And and this was just like another reason why I know that my God is real, is because Jim had already moved back to California. Lynn and Courtney stayed, and Lynn didn't know if she would be able to adopt me at that point. And they're like, how do we tell this little girl? And I remember we were driving in the car. They had gotten a call from my caseworker, Jim Ward. I'll never forget his name. And he said, we brought your case in front of a judge, and when there's a fit like this, we can't say no. And so I was one of the first wards of the state to legally be allowed to leave the state before an adoption was final.
That was like a pretty big deal. That they were like, this is such a fit that
that
we're gonna let her go.
Yeah.
they allowed for that to happen
Yeah.
in what, 90 something, and how many other kids now,
Right.
have followed after, and how many
Right.
before you were turned down.
Yeah.
Did Lynn and Courtney stay back, like, mainly because of your adoption? Is that why Jim went back
Yeah, that's
before?
the only reason they stayed back. They were at a point where they couldn't afford to pay I don't know if they owned the house or were renting. They couldn't afford to pay both.
Oh yeah,
And so they were like, we have to
yeah, I
go.
have to go back.
And from what I recall, Rita and my foster family were basically trying to like talk them out of it. You realize this is what she's been through. Like, here's all of her paperwork. This is
Why was
what's
Rita so obsessed with you?
'cause
I mean,
she
obviously,
wanted
like,
to
you're a
adopt
beautiful,
me.
amazing child, but like,
I know. Yeah.
ew.
Good Friday is when my adoption was final. That's why they always text me happy birthday. I know. Back to why me telling my mom everything was such
Yeah.
a big deal was growing up, I always felt like I had to perform or just be a good kid in order for them to keep me. You know what I mean?
There's a sense of, I mean, even whenever I met you, there was still this like very obvious, and not an attachment thing. It was you owe your mom. You clung on to every word and every, like, I mean, which is like, I wouldn't say that's like totally abnormal for a girl and a mom, but in your case, it was more extreme.
Well, she saved
Because
me. I
there
saw her
was-
as like my savior.
Right. Unless you had your mom's like approval on
Right.
something.
It meant a lot to me.
Yeah.
Was my mom's approval all throughout life meant so much to me because again, I think it came back to this woman plucked me out of hell. Kids aren't adopted at 9. That's not a
Right.
common thing.
Well, you were 11 when you were adopted.
Yeah, 11 when it was final.
Yeah.
And so I always felt like I just want to make her proud and I'll agree with her and what she says is all I need to know. So as I got older and started acting out and doing things that any child that has been through what I've been through would
Yeah.
do, I felt like I was falling short and then I just kind of detached myself. I'm not going to tell her what I'm doing.
Right.
So I'm just not going to talk to her.
They did the best with the tools that they had available to them at the
Right.
time.
And they were
But,
young.
yeah, but
They were like younger than me when they adopted
they
me.
were very much like, almost, it's kind of ironic. Whenever you came back from John Doe, how you were like, I'm back, he's gone. What does it
Right.
matter? And I feel like same kind of mentality almost applies to when you were adopted. Well, you're adopted and you're safe now. So like it
Right.
was like they kind of expected you to just that whole
normal.
part of your life, because again, the education that we have available to us now, basic psychological research that is more talked about now of how much your childhood shapes
Right.
you. You were like afraid of not having things.
And when I was in foster care, I remember we would take shifts to go sneak food.
Isn't that fucking sad?
Yeah.
But like you and these
Yeah.
foster kids that grew up like literally starving, abandoned.
Well, we weren't allowed to have sugar. So our mission was like, even we weren't allowed to have peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. We would have peanut butter and butter sandwiches.
Ew.
So the whole mission was
Why?
to get sugar. Because of our ADHD, they thought it would make us like hyperactive and act out.
Well, that adds a whole nother layer too. Logically, I'm sure if
That's
you.
probably why I'm addicted to sugar now.
Well, I'm sure that being born on drugs has something to do with it, but
We were never
you
allowed
were
to have
in
sugar.
survival mode and you were literally taking shifts. I love that it was an organized plot.
It was organized
Like
crime.
you guys, like literally, like how old were those kids older than you?
They were younger. All 2 years apart, I think.
There's one biological kid, right?
So she was
Or
like
the one that
25 at the time.
But
so the house was like,
so
the house was huge.
So they were adopting kids after their kids left.
Yes.
For extra.
For money. Yeah, because they definitely didn't want kids. In order for us to be treated with, so Dairy Queen was our biggest treat. In order for us to be allowed to be treated to Dairy Queen, I used to have to massage Rita's feet. And she was a nurse. And I would have to sit there and massage her crusty ass feet so that we were allowed to have Dairy Queen.
Ew.
Yeah. Yep. I
They
remember that.
literally just wanted like
Yeah.
little like
Child slaves.
slaves.
Yes.
God, that just makes me think like, what else have you stored away that
Right.
happened? Then when you were adopted, you moved to Sonoma County.
Keep in mind at that point, I had been to like 8 different schools, and I think I was in like 4th grade at that time. So it was in Hill House in Oregon. Called it Hill House because it was up on a hill. It was real pretty. That's why I started stealing socks, I think.
Well, I was trying to give context to the fact that
Oh.
like at this
Stealing socks.
at the-
I'm like that gremlin from Harry Potter.
I don't
When
watch
your
it.
owner gives you a sock, that means you're free.
I never
All my
watched
Harry Potter fans.
No, I was trying to give context to like the lifestyle that changed. Like there was a shift. Like
Everything.
your parents, your
I get-
adopted family was decently well off. You're living in
A
a
house.
affluent community.
Yeah.
Sonoma County is a rich community.
Right.
So you're surrounded by money.
Right.
Your friends have money. You're in California. It's like a completely different
Right.
lifestyle than what you had grown up
Right.
in, which was trailer parks and crack houses in Medford,
Right.
Oregon. I had to like adjust really quickly to that life as a kid.
Right. I don't remember the money being a thing that I had to adjust to. I think it was just structure. I wasn't used to
Well,
structure.
I don't think that you would have thought of it as money as a kid, but it would have been
Yeah.
like the
I mean, it
things
was
you
a
need. The
it was
clothes were always available. Food was always available.
Right.
Structure, everything that comes with having resources.
right. Yeah.
You never went without at
Right.
that point.
No.
In order to like, I mean, survive up until that point, your survival mode was stealing things.
Yeah.
You
I
would-
remember as a kid, there was a gas station on the corner of the road that I would go into because my mom would be gone for like days at a time. And I would go in there and I remember I'd always steal, they probably still have them. I love gas station brownies. They're the little brownies.
Like the cosmic ones? With
Yes.
Yeah.
I always steal
The
those.
tops are so fudgy.
Yes. And they would just let me take them because they were like, they knew that this girl needed food.
I just want to go hug them.
But-
And they probably would know and just let you take it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if some little girl's coming in there days in a row to take food, they're probably like, just let her have it.
I mean, it was survival mode from the time that you were born.
Yeah.
And then when you were adopted, you should have felt safe, but you didn't know how to feel safe.
I think that's where the psychological thing comes in is
Like
I just,
a hyperfixation of
Yeah.
survival kind of.
where I just like had to have socks. I can't explain why.
And maybe it wasn't necessarily about the socks, maybe it was just about something that you could just have and you knew like
that I had it. If there's treats, I'm going to take them. Even if I'm not going to eat them, I just want to know that I have access to
Were you
them.
taking a lot of food in addition to the socks?
Yeah, I would take a lot of cookies. It was always food and socks. And just, I don't know where the socks came from.
That's so interesting. The past like even couple years, I feel like you finally have started to kind of step into like being a woman that can have her own life and her own voice.
At the end of the day, my whole existence, I've always just wanted to make my mom proud. At the same time, like I've been afraid to be vulnerable, even though I feel like she's always kind of had a sense of what's been going on. We don't talk about it. I've never wanted to disappoint her. And I feel like recently, over the last few years, it's like I had a conversation with her before I went to Paris. I was like, either I'm going to tell you everything or I'm going to tell you nothing. Like that's
Can
where.
you give context to the Paris conversation?
So I went to Paris with this man who's a really good guy, by the way.
Throwback to episode one. Yeah.
He's a really good guy.
He's a dentist. You hadn't been to
yes.
the dentist in like 20 years.
And at that point, the whole conversation was like, well, if you're going to Paris, then you must be good at something like sex. And I'm thinking, I've been married. Like, obviously, I'm having sex.
Right.
And this was after the whole John Doe situation. So I'm thinking, if you only knew. That's when I told her, I was like, I want to have a relationship with you. And I want to be able to be honest with you about things that I'm doing, whether you like them or not. I want to be able to talk to you about them, or I'm just not going to talk to you about anything that has to do with my personal life. And that was the first big breakthrough that we had. I feel like she also was raised in a very, very
militarized.
Yeah, like the type of life where you don't talk about things that can be perceived any way other than what should be perfect.
Your
Boomers.
veins.
That's nothing compared to what they
Oh
are.
my- That's how you know she was a drug baby. She got them drug veins.
I know.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Literally, that's not even. It's not
You
even
can
there
see
yet.
them like, I want more.
Pump it up. Hold on, they gotta get like real. You gotta hang them down though.
Look at us.
Ew.
Look at that sucker.
Anyways, you were talking about boomers before we started talking about veins.
Oh, let me check the film and then I also have to pee.
Why? Where are you going?
It's a good thing I like my friends canceled. Hey guys, also Felicia likes the new Taylor Swift album. And we went to the Swiftie pop-up. We'll insert
We did go.
photos.
Still have not gotten to the place where I would turn it on in my car, but I do
But
enjoy
you
it.
like it.
I
The
enjoy
new
it.
one. Do you know that like on well, you don't watch Love is Blind, but I always have gold goblet glasses. Whenever you're editing, it's like a continuity thing. They cut things together in different parts. They always do. And if you're just holding like a regular cup,
I get what
then
you're
it goes
saying.
up. So Love is Blind was the first one that made it like a thing. But it's
Oh.
actually just because they want to be able to cut the story together however they want.
They don't
Reality
do that
show.
on The Housewives.
Yeah.
And I do
which is
notice
surprising.
when a drink is full, when it's
And
not,
then
and then when it's full again. That would actually kind of piss me off if I was when we're on a show. Amazing
Yeah.
Race. This is our official submission.
I gotta get my passport.
They'll pay for your passport. All you gotta
have
do
to
is
have it. You have to have it. I can pay for it. It's just a matter of going. I hate the post office. I hate doing like I still have to do my taxes. I have to do my taxes before the 15th, or else I'm gonna be in trouble.
I keep telling her because it's her favorite show. And for once, I'm down to go. I'm down to do it.
No, I know.
You don't have to have a passport to apply to it.
Yeah, you do. Used to back in the day. I haven't looked recently.
Well, I mean, we're applying right now. Pick us.
I seriously think we would probably win.
Okay, well, we wouldn't know until you get your passport, until we can apply. This is our
Okay, so let me ask you though, like, let's say
official
so
submission.
we're on. You've never actually like even watched
I
a
haven't
full
watched
season.
it, but I will.
I used to watch it all the time, like it was my whole
we
life goal.
survive.
Say it's like a jump off of a building challenge.
Did they do that?
Yeah,
Maybe don't tell me.
Have
Don't
to-
tell me these things.
but you
Otherwise, I will not apply. Don't tell me.
you have to take a
I feel like
task.
maybe I should just not know.
Yeah,
Am I
That's-
allowed to not know?
that's probably smart. What about like eating gross stuff? I can't do.
Is this Fear Factor or Amazing
It's not
Race?
like that
I
bad.
thought you had to like walk through the desert and get in a car in Mumbai and get a taxi to some hotel.
Yeah, that's what you have to
And
do.
I mean, I'll pack
They're
my protein
fun.
bars.
But you never know. Like that's what I love
She
about
just talked
Amazing
me out
Race.
of it. You just talked
That's
me out
what
of it.
you never know what you're gonna get to do.
Okay, well, you just scared the shit out
what
of me.
what a cool
Jumping off cliffs, eating scorpions.
I just want to say that the thing that
Maybe we should apply to The Bachelor,
What-
ABC.
what I can't do is I will not bungee jump.
I mean, I would.
See, that's why we'd be great at it. Like you would do the jumping.
Maybe we should just apply to The Bachelor and be like
We're-
best friends on The Bachelor.
Hate to tell you,
The Golden Bachelor.
we're too old.
The Golden Bachelor.
I don't want to be on The Bachelor. I'm over The Bachelor. This is the first season I haven't watched.
Okay,
The
well, you don't need a
Bachelor.
passport to get on The Bachelor. So once we put in our submission, then I will watch as much as you want me to watch. Until then, I'm not watching any of it
Why?
because this is going to light a fire under your ass.
It would light a fire under if you watched it and you were like, oh my God, we can do it.
So it'll just make me troll you even more than I already have, even though I haven't watched it.
yeah.
Oprah, we need your help.
And we love you, Oprah. What was I talking about before this?
The boomers and how people were raised in a society where they can't talk about things.
It's a very good recollection, but I don't remember what my point was behind it. I remember. So on top of just like generationally, your mom's generation not being super open to discussing their feelings, add the additional layers that your mom grew up in a very like militant family, very, very, very aggressively religious. You had never been to a place with her where you had like a super open dialogue.
Little by little, I was able to open up more and more. and be more vulnerable. And I told her about Paris and how excited I was, and well, you're going for a reason, like you must be good at something. And I remember saying, I have a personality. Like,
yeah, I remember you saying that.
and maybe that's why it was so much more triggering for me, because I had just come out of a relationship that I had been objectified, going into a trip to Paris with somebody who actually enjoyed my company.
Right.
She said that, I was like offended. I'm actually fucking fun to be around. And so that's the point where I told her, either I'm going to share everything with you or I'm going to share nothing. That was the first breakthrough we had, where she was like, I want to know. That's when I started sharing my location with her, because I felt safe to do so. Yeah, she still has it, which is good, because if John Doe ever tries to murder me, then all the people have my location. You hear that, John Doe? Everyone. We also came up with an apocalypse plan for when the grid goes out. She's going to stay here and I'm going to
Walk from
walk.
downtown.
If my car battery won't turn on, I'm going to walk here.
It's like, what, 12 miles?
Why
You'd get here in a day.
That's why when we were hiking, I had this intrusive thought. It wasn't intrusive because unfortunately it's kind of real.
I love that we were both having intrusive thoughts while we were hiking, because my intrusive thought was, this is also what I love about us so much. It's like, we can be all over the place, and then sometimes we can just be quiet. There was these people that came up behind us. I could hear them jingle jangling behind us.
The only thing that made me happy about that was there was a female with him. So I was like, they're killing us.
Yeah, but then also, you never fucking know. I mean,
also, we could outrun them. They were a little like hefty.
But I wasn't thinking about them. I was just thinking, like, if we were to get attacked on a trail together, like, what would our escape plan be? She's fucking fast. So initially, my first thought was, well, maybe they would take me and I'd tell her to run, and then you'd at least save yourself and I'd be done for. Then I was looking around at the rocks, and I was like, these are some good weapons. We're in Tennessee, so the ground is all over the fucking place. Half the trail looks like you're an island. Half of it looks like you're like, I don't even, just in the woods. They're very pointy, heavy rocks that would be good, like hidden rocks. I had this overwhelming feeling to be like, hey, so if anybody attacks us, one of us just take the nuts. The other one, we need to grab the rock, hit him in the head. And you were having intrusive thoughts.
Well, it's wild that we even have to think about that, first of all.
Do other people that aren't traumatized think about things like that?
I think this day
Women, probably.
They do. I've always gone on hikes by myself with my fucking headphones in.
With like silencing on.
And I haven't been on a hike for a long time.
And you went by yourself a lot. I always had a dog with me.
Ignorance is bliss. I never ever thought that I could be a victim, ever. I was just like, I have angels protecting me. I think my angels are fucking worn out by now.
They're tired, but they're still working.
Could happen to anybody. You've always been very intuitive and very like protective. I never have. I've always been like, like I'm gonna be okay.
These birds, I swear these birds are in my fucking attic.
I mean, thank God the birds are still chirping.
Maybe it's Grandma. Hi, Grandma.
When the apocalypse hits, we're not
like
gonna hear birds.
They're
enjoy them while you can.
I had more awareness of evil than how you like lived your day-to-day life. If I look at myself now compared to myself in my 20s, I could almost say I had rose-colored glasses, even though I definitely didn't.
I lived with rose-colored glasses until we started filming.
Yeah.
Until we started unpacking and talking about this shit.
I don't think that you had fully accepted like the reality of it. It was
Which I wish I could go back to. I feel like I'm starting to have anxiety about it, because it feels so much more real now. When you're exposing yourself, there's a part of you that you always keep like covered.
Yeah.
And talking to her, that was like me unveiling the last, like, there's no one else in the world that I had to tell that to besides her. Yeah. You know what I mean? And like in detail. Mm-hmm. Courtney knew from day one. She was the last person that I respect that I was fully exposing myself to. And that was huge. And that's where it became like really, really real to me. Where it was like, also, that's really pretty. There's a rainbow up there. Where? Aww. Even before we started the podcast, a big part of why I started to feel in my head, I was like, my family's going to see this. Like, are they going to judge me? But I haven't been met with judgment at all. And that's been like...
Except when your dad thought we were lesbians.
Well, but yeah. But by the ones who I always expected
Right.
judgment, I guess is the best way to put that. And that's like so huge for me in my growth. That is also what makes it feel more real. It's almost like if
Right.
they were judging me, I'd be like,
Yeah, that would almost be more comfortable in a way.
right. Like
Yeah, I didn't think about it that way, but that's
it's
true.
familiar. So when it's met with support, it's
More
unfamiliar and it feels
overwhelming.
like, but overwhelming in a good way, but
Right.
overwhelming in a way that I don't know how to process. I think of that NF song. It's called Happy, where it's like you're more comfortable in misery. I think that's how I felt for so long, where it's like, even if something is good, it's foreign to me, but it's all good. But I think that's why it's also like unlocking parts of my brain. I feel safe to heal now, and I feel safe to do it in an open platform beyond just best friends and strangers. I feel safe to do it
Yeah.
with family, and that's where it gets real.
Yeah.
I know I'm a mess.
No, you're not. It just
I haven't showered in 4 days besides today.
because her apartment doesn't
My
have.
beautiful, wonderful apartment.
Because you don't fix my flyaways, I wanted to make sure I fix yours. Go back to episode 1 to see mine. Ow. I was so nice and you.
Ow, Jesus.
Anyway, so
Can I make you cry?
after you told her all of the John's Doe stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and she said, "Can you press charges? Otherwise, why are you doing that?"
A lot of logical people would think is, why didn't you press charges? And I told her he was still working for the company at the time. I was still working for the company at the time.
And the system
There
is
would
not
there would
set
be
up
no
for
point.
women.
There would be no point. I said that. I
Case in
said that.
point, P. Diddy.
Yes. I said there would be no point.
Her logic is very tied to what is fed to Americans in general of like the law will protect you. And that is not true for women.
It wasn't until a long time after that that I realized what was happening.
Oh, yeah.
I still wouldn't have pressed charges even if the law was on women's side. I
Yeah.
wouldn't have. I told her I didn't break up with him because of what happened. I broke up with him because we lived
Because you
two
didn't even
different
realize what had
lifestyles.
happened. And in a lot of states, the statute of limitations is
3 years.
1 year to 3 years. And normally it takes that long,
Yeah.
at least, if not more. I mean, how long? We're 3 years out. And you're
Yeah.
just now really processing
Yeah.
fully.
I don't doubt that that's on purpose. It definitely is on purpose.
Right. It's to protect the men.
Which is so wild. Like, you can convict somebody of murder 25 years later.
Someone can rape you, someone can
Mhm.
sexually abuse you, someone can use you as a sexual object.
Yeah.
And if you don't come forward within 1 to 3 years, joke's on you.
Yep.
But if we need an abortion
Yep.
in our state and a doctor performs one, they'll get a felony, they'll lose their license, and we could be charged.
Right. I would love to see what psychologists say about how long it takes somebody to realize. And
Yeah.
I'm sure that the fucking law was set so that as soon as you realize, sorry, bitch, too late.
Well, and we rewatched Phoenix Rising because we had talked about it several times in that episode. And neither one of us had watched it since the first time. I mean, I
Yeah.
hadn't watched it again.
I hadn't either.
And so to watch it from this place versus watching it like fresh out of John Doe was wild. Every single thing we could relate back and be like, oh, that's what he did with work. Oh, that's what he did
Yeah.
with sexuality.
Something that really I think has kept me up at night too, literally, the day after I had told her everything. And she was asking questions, which meant a lot. Like,
Right.
when people ask questions, that means they care. We had taken them out to the little shack where that was the first place I shot a gun.
Not to be confused with the shack that she lived in.
Literally was a hunter's cabin.
Yeah.
She said when her and Courtney were driving home, they drove home in silence. And my mom said something to the extent of, the next time that we come out here, it could be to like find her body. And I never, ever, ever thought about it as like a life or death situation. And even you said you may not have made it out of there alive. And I never, ever, ever thought about it that way.
You processing them feeling that way when in every other scenario, it's kind of just been like, well, Felicia's going to be Felicia. Like, that's
Right.
just, she'll be back when she's back. But the fact that it felt that dire to them.
And I feel like I'm still processing it because, like,
Yeah.
to know that you weren't even in there, like, that's weird.
Yeah.
I literally can understand with every part of my being how cults are formed. Coming face to face with evil like that and in a way being taken over by evil, especially as a Christian, like that
Yeah.
overcoming your mind is like something that you never, ever, ever would imagine. It's been a lot and I'm thankful for it because honestly, I feel like I probably would have just like buried it inside and been like, men suck. Men don't suck. Evil men suck.
Yeah. And then we unpacked also the cage thing about how you said I was the one that said ironic that he gets you birds that have to live in a
You did say
cage.
that. I
And
remember.
I
I
don't
do
remember that
remember
at
that.
all because he didn't get you a cat or a dog or something
Even
that
though he knew
or
what kind of dog
or
I
something
wanted,
that like
we
if
lived in the perfect
you
environment for
could
a
have had a
dog.
puppy and it would have
Yeah.
and you loved the birds, but also you love animals in
But I also
general.
had to love the birds because they were sprung upon me. Like, here's some
Right. Well, and then they
exotic
became
birds that
your
are going to live
only
for
friend.
75 years.
Yeah. And you were stuck with these
Yeah.
birds that had to be caged while you were literally in you were in a metaphorical cage.
Yeah.
And it is like the most fucking mind warp thing. Like he never got any animal, any pet, anything that wasn't contained.
Well, that didn't have like some fucked up psychological reasoning behind it. And I remember I was so mad at him. So at first, he brought home two, what are they, cockatoos with the pink cheeks? He brought home two of those, which you have to like spend a lot of time with them. I can't take care of these birds. So he literally drove them out into the middle of nowhere and set them free. Literally. And I remember thinking that's fucking evil.
Oh my God.
Yeah, just to like die.
You know that like serial killers
Yeah.
that what they do is they like it starts with like killing kittens and puppies
Yeah.
and stuff. Like that's the equivalent.
Yeah.
Taking domesticated birds that probably can't even fucking fly.
And he knew that. He fucking knew that. When we were going through the emails, I mean, I've always known he has asked me to send him all of my financials. He has access to every bank account I have. He has my social security
Had.
number.
Well, he still would have that, but
He has a picture of my current driver's license. He has all of it. He literally has every.
well, in the emails we saw that where you were like, here's my account summary for my spending.
Because he told me to send that to him.
You were literally being completely controlled.
Yeah. Yeah, literally every single aspect of my humanity. Yeah. I genuinely feel in my soul like it's a matter of time till like he's gonna do something fucking unhinged. Like, I don't doubt it.
I think he also wants you to live in fear. Because the reality is we have every single fucking bit of proof that
Yeah.
he would never be able to do anything. That's how they control all of their prey. Even if you escape, you're not safe. We have to live in the reality of the monster that he is, but also in the power that we have of all of the journals, the videos, the text
Well, and
messages,
I feel
the
like
emails.
I've never felt that he was unhinged until people told me,
How bad it was.
I'm surprised that you're alive, type thing. Then I'm like,
Right.
holy shit, like he's
Yeah.
gonna fucking try and kill me.
If we end up dead, we would just like to say
we have letters
that
and we will tell you where to
everyone,
find them.
like a page out of Candace Owens'
Mhm.
book lately, we have sent envelopes to everyone that we know.
I mean, everyone knows who he is.
Everyone knows who he is.
All of the people that are close to us know who he is.
If something happened to us,
You know who it
we
is.
are not suicidal.
No,
Say it.
I am not suicidal.
We are not suicidal. We're actually
thriving if you get to.
you know, we're not thriving, but we have hopes and dreams for the first time in our life.
I have to read you something, by the way, which correlates to that. Where's my phone?
We need to wrap it up.
No,
Somehow. I know, but somehow we have to wrap it up. We can always go into a new episode.
I know
but-
we need something lighthearted, and we'll change outfits. We're gonna do a lighthearted one for my soul. So it said, being alone requires bravery. Only in solitude do you discover parts of yourself you might not be proud of. How can I expect the love I'm deserving of while I'm unwilling to even show myself enough? Pain becomes familiar, but solitude also unearths inner strength. I learned how to grow quietly for myself for once, and heartache that was once a headwind became the breeze at my back, moving me forward and further away from familiar pains each day. It's not easy to give yourself credit when you're always accepting the blame. Believe me, though, I'm learning. It won't be long now before the rest of the world sees on the outside all the changes that took place in the dark. I know well the work required of the life I desire. And since I've gone through hell already, that doesn't intimidate me. When you've spent much of your life either struggling, suffering, or healing, dreaming doesn't come naturally. And still, I shed the dead weight and dream. I found joy and success even while carrying a heavy heart. But this newfound lightness excites me. That's like that. It just made me think of that. We never had to do this. We never had to talk about these things. People who love us know these things, but the fact that we're putting them out there on a platform.
That one line just hit me a lot of like, read the one about the dream again. I'm just had an epiphany.
When you've spent so much of your life either struggling, suffering, or healing, dreaming doesn't come naturally.
I feel like that's so big for us right now because this is the first dream that we've had.
It is.
We've never once said we shouldn't be doing this or we're going to stop or we're going to quit.
We've never felt purpose until now.
Never. It's this challenges in between where my friend April described it like you have to think of this like you're driving to Florida and you're going to have to drive through fucking Alabama or whatever on the way. There's going to be like a giant part of the journey that's just nothing. And the only way that you're going to get to the destination is if you keep driving through the nothing. And it's not even nothing. It's just that we had this like huge moment at the beginning where it's kind of a mind fuck where it was like all of this viral validation analytics wise from a data perspective, because I'm a fucking nerd about that. Once people find us, they stay and they want to watch our story and they leave comments and they tell us their story. And that's all we want from this. But the in between and unpacking these things that are so hard and are just ripping us wide open in real life in ways that we didn't even have any way to prepare for.
Yeah.
We had no idea. We knew it was going to be a lot. And that's why we have treated every episode so organically. It's because once we're ready to talk about it, let's just like talk about it.
Right.
Because we know ourselves enough to know that if it's there, we need to pull it out or else it's going back.
Right.
We have never been, ever in our entire lives, we have never been truly safe and believed in ourselves enough to have a dream. I don't know why I'm doing this other than I know I have to. We have to keep doing it, even though it's not like hundreds of thousands of views and we can't make money off of it. And like if 200 people listen, then at the beginning of it, we were like, but that would be enough. But then we had the big viral moment. And so it's like, well, now what?
I feel like when it's radio silence, that's when we start to get into our head. But then people will reach out and be like, I felt this. I heard this. I felt seen. Like, that's why we're doing this. And like, that's why we just got to keep going.
So please, can you please leave us a comment
and send our podcast Oprah
or a message? And if you know anyone who knows Oprah or any other podcast network. But to circle back to your mom.
Again?
I forgot.
Back again?
No, because I forgot, and I forgot an important part.
Come here, give me your cup.
The most important part. Woo! That's perfect for the end of the show. The most important part.
She said she was proud of me.
Yeah. Because she said, why are you doing this?
Because it came out of genuine concern.
Right.
So just to give it some context, she essentially as a mom was like, you're putting all of your deepest all of your deepest, darkest secrets out on a public platform. Like, and I've even said this to you, and I feel like if I hadn't talked through this in my brain beforehand of like, when it comes to men, this is weeding out
A lot.
a lot of men who, a lot of the dudes I used to talk to don't reach out anymore, which in a way I respect. And I was like, maybe it's because they're afraid they'll be talked about on the podcast. But then I also was thinking, well, then don't give me a reason to
But
talk about you on the podcast.
But I also feel that it's because they have gone from, because you gave a very like curated form of yourself
Yeah.
online, and now you are showing the depths of you.
My story can't be weaponized anymore. Like
But also, like, it takes a strong fucking woman to do what you're doing and to have lived through what you've lived through, and that's going to intimidate a lot of people. Could it be also that they're afraid? But why are you afraid?
Right.
If you're not going to, it's like Taylor Swift said.
Yeah.
Well, if you don't want me to write songs about you, then stop doing shitty fucking shit.
Right. It shouldn't be that hard. It really shouldn't be that hard. And so when she had said, I'm just worried, like, you're putting all of this out there, don't you think that you should keep any of this for like the person that you're with, so
Right.
that can be like something you share with them? And I said, no, I have been quiet for so long. Wherever my voice gets me, and that's where my mom and I also met full circle. The man that God has for me is going to hear all of this. He's going to meet me there. He's going to protect me. He's going to be a fucking man, a man that none of these other men could be for me. And so I think that for her to hear that and for us to meet in that moment was huge too. Today is good.
It's good. Yeah.
I don't feel heavy walking away from this.
And I do like,
I
feel
think
like
I was disassociated. I mean, for a moment, I think I was, but I feel like I feel like my heart is here.
if you're watching this and you relate in any way, if you feel comfortable commenting, comment. If you want to
Or even-
message us,
yeah.
like message us. But that's what keeps us going. Like, as we've talked about, Oprah like raised me, and I'm so thankful for that, because I had no consistency in my life other than every day when I go home from school, I would watch Oprah. And everything that I learned that gave me a different perspective on the world growing up with a very mentally ill mother was from Oprah. And I'll never forget, all she wanted, she was obsessed with the book The Color Purple, and then she found out that they were making the movie, and she was like, if I could just be the water girl, if I could just be like an assistant, if I have to be involved in the movie. Quincy Jones reached out to her because they had seen her on TV and they wanted her to audition. She auditioned and she thought, this is the divine, this is God, universe, not Oprah, obviously. This is God, universe telling me I am supposed to be in
And that
this
was
movie.
a great tie-in too, because universe, God.
Yeah, but she always talked about it that way, which is crazy, because in my childhood, I was always so confused about church. And Oprah is very religious, but she talks about it in a way that's very accepting of everyone, where like you can tell she says it naturally. So she always just says, it's God, it's the divine, it's the universe. Like, she says stuff like that. But she said she's at a fat farm. She said she was running the track and she had given up. Like, she hadn't heard from anyone in 2 or 3 months. And she was like, all right, God, universe, clearly role is not what you want, so I surrender. And she just says like, I surrender all. I surrender all. And she said she was running the track, singing that. And whenever you watch the clip, you just see in that moment her remembering like the person running out and saying, Steven Spielberg is on the phone for you. And he was telling her that she got the role. And I know that we're going to have that moment. We just have to keep going. We have to keep going, and we have to let go of the outcome. And I think that is the most challenging part of having a dream, but we've never had a dream before.
Our dream is to help people. And so that holds so much more weight. We want to make a difference. And so like, we won't stop until it happens. We won't.
Yeah.
And whatever it happens looks like is what Oprah said. You surrender all. Like, whatever this looks like. And we even said at the beginning, what I think it was the first episode we filmed, whether there's one of you or 100 of you that listen,
Yeah.
like, we're going to be here, and we are going to be here.
Yeah. It's
But
just
we need some feedback. We need some message.
and Oprah for real though.
For real, Oprah.
Once again, I want to say that Felicia never watched Oprah as a kid. Just
No,
as just
no.
as she never watched Amazing Race, and that's her current dream for us. And this is why we're yin and yang, because she just knows that if I believe in something, that
And
we
I've always
need
said
to
we
do
will
it.
meet you. We will meet you. That's why I had that
so-
vision of you passing the torch to us.
How fucking great would it have been to just been great at science and know I'm going to be a doctor, and then you just like go through the steps and you become a doctor. And
We
then
never were meant for that, though. I have always envied people. My sister, I have
that can have a
literally
goal and do
always,
it.
and I've told you this for years and years and years. Until this podcast, I literally have never known what my purpose was, ever.
Yeah, same.
I'm 38,
Neither one of
almost
us.
39 years old. I've never, ever
Yeah.
felt in my soul a purpose until now. We've always known deep, and maybe
There's a
that's like
bigger
God, the
purpose.
universe, Oprah, Taylor Swift,
Well, and they're
saving us from just living a fucking 9 to 5.
Even like someone that knows when they're 18 they're going to be a doctor, they still have 10 years to go until they actually are a doctor. They have to choose to keep going through school. They have to choose to graduate and be exhausted and then go
'Cause that's
through
their
more.
purpose. That is their
But they
purpose.
know that's what I'm going to do. That's how I'm going to get there.
Right.
It's not going to take us 10 or 12 years. It's not, I don't even think it's going to take us a year. We're only 3 months in.
Yeah.
But I think because it's the first time that we've had like a real dream,
Yeah.
and because we're so sure, like we just know, just like Oprah said in that clip, preparation, opportunity, divine intervention, it's all of these things that come together. There's no such thing as luck.
Remember when we first started too, I would talk about like Steve Jobs. How long did he spend in his garage?
Yeah.
Like people spend years and years, even Taylor Swift
Yep.
spent years and years before she got seen. And I feel like that's honestly the only thing I can compare it to is Taylor Swift, who's pouring her heart out in songs.
Yeah.
And they're not being heard because her songs are her story. But that's what we're prepared for.
The storage was full and we actually heard the beep.
Thank
so we
God.
didn't lose 20 minutes of footage again. But now we have to talk quick because
Quick.
Fresh
So
out.
we were talking about
Ow.
purpose. There was like that 75-year-old man getting an award at work. And he was so happy to get that award. And I was thinking, this whole time I felt sorry for him because he was still having to work this job that isn't fulfilling my soul.
right.
And this is fulfilling his soul. And I was like, that's his purpose. We all have a different purpose.
We did not go through all of this for nothing. We did not experience this life for nothing. We are not here on this earth, on this
Yeah.
planet to run the fucking hamster wheel. Like we have always known that we are here for something. And I think we're lucky to know that. We're lucky to be aware of it. But now it's just a matter of like not giving up when we're in Alabama. You got to drive through Alabama to get to Florida. So
We have to find a way to get back to why we're doing this and
not the outcome.
what makes us feel human again. I have not felt human in years, literally.
Yeah. And maybe that's why we feel so ripped open
Yeah.
because
We're finally feeling human again.
wow,
Wow.
breakthrough.
Thank you for
Breakthrough.
tuning in.
That means she's hungry.
Or horny.
Same.
Kidding. Same?
I mean,
How can you be horny?
because I've
Been celibate for a
had
long
sex
time.
recently. The beast is awake. Anyway, we weren't crazy.
Neither are you.
We love you.
Also, I'm not even high yet. That looks like a. Hold on.
The
Please
phone is
hold.
so crooked. The
Hold
angle
on. I'm
is
going to
so
show you
wrong.
what that looks like. Hold on. You're going to.
We have to close it out. We're
Hold
gonna
on.
run out
Okay,
of film.
hold on. What's the meerkat? Wait for it. The phone looks like a meerkat.
You're
Do you not see
a,
that?
a, s- a,
And
se-
I'm not even
a,
high.
se- a secret
I have a talent.
talent that Felicia has is that if she sees someone's face, she can be like, you know what? He looks like the perfect mix between this person,
You
and
gotta take a
this
picture
person.
of your phone.
But so I'm gonna show you this, okay? And then I'm gonna take a picture of the phone.
And again, no edibles were consumed yet.
Shockingly, none. And I can't say that she's wrong, honestly.
I know.
Anyway, we love you so much. Please make sure to tune in next
You
week
said
for.
we love you so much.
I know she rubs off on me. I didn't say thank you. But
Thank you.
Thanks for being here. Anyway, stay tuned next week for my biological dad reveal.
Oh my God, that's going to be so good. Oh my God, I can't wait.
We didn't even mean to, but
I can't wait.
we were reminiscing about millennial things, and then my biological dad may or may not have been a important figure on PBS.
Yep.
And at that moment, they ran out of storage. Stay tuned for words of wisdom from Oprah.
I never wanted anything in my life more than I wanted the role in The Color Purple. I have not wanted and never want to be in a place where I want anything that badly again. I felt my life could not go on if I did not get that role. Why I should think that when I had never acted in a movie or knew anybody, I didn't know Steven Spielberg or Quincy Jones. And the story is, to make it short, Quincy Jones had seen me on television, and before that, I had carried that book around. I was obsessed with The Color Purple. I would carry it in a backpack. I would hand it to people out on the street. Have you read The Color Purple? Read The Color Purple? When I heard they were doing a movie, I thought if I could only just be the water girl, if I could only be something with the scripts or help people on the set, I have to be a part of that movie. And so, as luck, as some people would call it, but I think it's preparation, opportunity, divine, all that stuff, I was seen on television and auditioned for it. And waited 2 months to hear, and I could not believe. I thought all the planets are lined up. First of all, the character that I'd be playing against was Harpo, which is my name backwards, and I was trying to say, well, that means something. That has to mean something. And then I'd gone to this health farm to try to lose weight, and had gone to this health farm after 2 months not hearing anything, because I could not believe God would let me get this close and then lose that role. When I called the casting agent, Reuben Cannon, and said, well, have you heard anything? He said, you don't realize that we have other people auditioning for this part. Other people who are real actresses, he said to me. Now, and I thought then, and then he named the other actors, and I thought, well, I definitely am not going to get it now. So I remember being at this health farm, running on the track, saying to the divine, God, I surrender it. I was singing that song, I surrender all. I surrender all, and crying, because I finally realized I'm not going to get it. I thought I was going to get it. I never wanted anything more than in my life, but I'm not going to get it. And my life is going to go on, and I'm going to be fine. And God, what would you have me do now? That was my prayer. The instant I let it go, the instant I let it go, I swear to you I'm going to cry. Somebody came and got me on the track, and they said, Steven Spielberg is on the phone for you. The instant I let it go, that changed my life, because I realized there's so much you can do. You do your best, and then you surrender it. You surrender it. You surrender all to the universe when you've given it your best, and say, well, what do you want me to do? Obviously, God, you don't want me to be in that movie, so I'm willing to do whatever that is. I'm willing to move with the flow. The instant. They said, and I got on the phone, I was called in, and he said, I hear you're at a fat farm. If you lose a pound, you may lose this part. So I stopped at Dairy Queen.